Well, good day. This is Iron Horse, of course. It is getting pretty late. It's about 11:25, which means 35 to 12 in real speak. But I'm just practicing the introduction I'm going to do tomorrow. And I mean, I've already written a different one. You know, that's the first one I started with, which I did at work earlier in the week. But of course, anytime I get to rewrite something, I rewrite it completely differently. And so I'm not even going to upload this until after the debate, just so you can see if I do it the same way I'm going to do, because no doubt in the morning I'm going to bloody change it, because it's 25 to 12. Maybe. Let's not be pedantic now. And so after James is going to do his introduction, this is how I'm going to start. Like, I'm actually going to do the beer drinking before we get in. So when he introduces me, I don't have to do that. And I'll just say like this, because there is a potential that the debate won't even go ahead anyway. So I'll just say, I know, you're hanging on every word. Thank you, James. Greetings, Craig. Modern day debate viewers, free men, women and children of Olimaroa, and prisoners of the heliocentric slave system. Today we are not here to debate whether or not we live on the obvious stationary planar Earth, fixed at the bottom of the known universe, as opposed to the absolutely absurd idea that we live on the thin crust of a giant oblate molten spinning rock covered with trillions of megalitres of magically curving water, surrounded by a pressurised atmosphere as we twirl, whirl, wobble, gyrate, spiral, hurtle, and literally get beamed by Scotty through a vacuum of space, because by now the debate is clearly over. Sometimes I'm a little slow to see the obvious, as I'm often so busy looking for the new, the exciting, the challenging, and the mind-blowing, that all this time I've remained oblivious to the fact that there never has been any debate. While the flat earthers have been reaching out, genuinely wanting to reveal groundbreaking new discoveries thanks to modern technology and a reinterpretation of ancient superstitious beliefs, and the willingness to pursue false philosophical propositions, it seems that those who've attempted to offer serious opposition, or at least equal and opposite rational argument against us, have in fact actually been playing little more than their own version of modern internet bread and circuses, entertaining themselves out of little more than boredom and a Freudian urge to enact revenge against people they've foolishly assumed would make easy victims. Take one of the main protagonists making a living in the entertainment industry, also my antagonist here today, entertaining his minions with his amusing yet immature Fight the Flat Earth, or FTFE, as we fondly know him. I'm reminded of a well-known Flat Earth champion, David Weiss, whose channel, named Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, is often mistakenly called Dearth, when in fact D-I-T-R-H should be pronounced Dra. Consequently, I believe we should acknowledge the heroic efforts of Mr. McNeil, former head burger flipper of McDonald's, or second there in command. It would be injustice to simply call him Flat Furf. FAHTAFATTUURRFF. We should invoke the Herculean efforts he's gone to similarly fight the tight shirt in a big, sumo-inspired grunt, referred to him by his rightful title, FAHTAFATTUURRFF. So as not to second guess, I see FAHTAFATTUURRFF started fighting against modern scientific discoveries on 19th of September 2018. He claims that he's here to stop the stupidity from spreading, to fight the stupidity of flat Earth. Paraphrasing for brevity now. Also chemtrails, climate change, denial, fluoride mind control, lizards, and more. He is struggling against stupidity everywhere he exists. Please send me money. Now it stands to reason there's not a single modern-day flat earther alive who once decided to brand themselves as Fight the Oblate Spheroid, though no doubt some of the more popular channels are things like Globe Busters, as in exposing the fraud, since if we set the truth free, it fights for itself like a lion. We've got deep inside the rabbit hole a brilliant reference to expanding the mind, looking closer into the preconceived beliefs, and tumbling and falling into the ultimate depths that a search for the truth entails, as opposed to sitting on the couch eating Cheerios, cackling like hyenas at those who dare to question the predominant narrative. We know from experience that in order to be popular, that every propaganda agent simply appeals to what's called the lowest common denominator. The crowd mind is easily persuaded by the mob, and through centuries of conditioning, nobody wants to stand out as a heretic. The feeling of belonging is, ironically enough, often extended by the helioists as another lame attempt to belittle flat earthers, accusing us of being outcasts, feeling some sort of need to belong. Yet, to add irony to irony, you'll find that amongst the modern scientists of flat Earth, there are no two alike who will agree on very much more other than the fact we know Earth is not a spinning, wobbling, molten, pear-shaped oblate spheroid spinning through a vacuum of space. The era of arguing semantics is over. The globe is dead. No motion, no curvature, no parallax of stars, no rational description for two tides with the mass of one moon. Every law of known physics violated in favour of philosophical preference. At every turn we've witnessed "Hurt the flat Earth" fail dismally in his far from valiant effort to arise from his gamer chair and wield anything greater than a superior sound system and the ability to play childish animal noises over his opponents who foolishly assumed they were entering into a fair arena to actually debate the greatest scientific topic to enter the consciousness of humankind since the days of Christ teaching Peter how to tread water. Clearly, only a helioist could have interpreted that as walking on water. Such is their ability to put incredulous stories before obvious fact, like spinning balls hurtling through a vacuum with little more than an accidental urge of remembrance to the Big Bang to cross paths without actually exchanging bodily fluids once a month, which they call gravity, a homage to the grave weight of the matter. If I were a warrior taking on an actual opponent as opposed to an ideal, and like Cwaig, decided that I would have crucified them the first times around, I'd actually be embarrassed to show my face again when on the fourth encounter, the warriors on the flat earth side of the debate have only gone from strength to strength as Globe Tardia sprinkles away into the twilight from which it was born in the imagination of man-childs. Just like Cwaig, who openly admits he went to an all-girls school, can't grow a beard, but spends his days with the arrow to his knee, sticking his finger into a dike because bemoaning that his little boy cries because someone told him the earth is flat. Cwaig, you've twice given me the armour, the honour that you'd like to crucify me. Here's your third and last opportunity. What have you got to defend your twirling, whirling, undefended, molten, crusty, spinning, pear-shaped, oblate, spheroid, lumpy, bumpy, wet piece of shat in space? Here's a hammer and all the nails you need. Now crucify me one more time, because I seem to keep coming back. I need to rewrite so much of that, but it is what it is.